Hello wonderful people and welcome back to Gaming with Naakta. Void Bastards is a pretty cool little game and is self-described as a revolutionary new strategy shooter that will test your wits as well as your aim. And speaking of aim, the game only has hipfire shooting, so there's no aiming down sights as far as I could tell. The game has a pretty cool atmosphere. It's very similar to System Shock 2. It also has randomized gameplay elements that remind me of games like Enter the Gungeon and Rogue Legacy. The game has such an amazing art style. It's just like you're walking around inside of a comic book. It's really cool and interesting. The UI and overall design of the game is very nicely done. You can tell that they put a lot of effort and time into just fixing and tweaking those little things that make a game look really nice and polished. With all that being said, let's see how it plays. The game starts you out in a closet with a gun and no ammo. A computer screen is telling you to make your way through the ship to find a line printer and get back to the Void Ark. What it doesn't tell you is that there are angry pirates and they are going to kill you. Welcome to Void Bastards, where dying is kind of expected. The game has this really neat comic book style of showing off the story. You learn that your backpack thingy is self-aware, can poop out your ammo, and is off to find a new client to continue the mission. Each time you die, you get a new client. These clients are randomly chosen and have random perks that are either positive or negative. Some examples of these perks are Sticky Feet, which grants immunity to knockback and oil spills, Smoker, causing you to cough every so often, alerting nearby enemies, and Overly Formal, which just changes the nameplates on enemies to show last names. The most basic concepts you need to keep in mind while playing are keeping your health up, and making sure you have enough fuel and food to travel in space. Just about every ship you land on will have food and fuel for you to loot, so feel free to continue traveling without stopping every single time you. One of the main goals of Void Bastards is to collect and craft. Once you've traveled around a bit, you're able to craft a part locator. This allows you to single out a schematic, and the map will take you to a ship that has the parts you need. This part will be shown on your map with a green circle around it. The other gear piece, shown with a white circle around it, is a main mission item. You need to gather these and craft specific items to advance the story. Sometimes you'll want to just travel directly to the ship with these items and be on your way. Sometimes the universe has other plans. If a void whale attacks you, it's game over. New client incoming. There are other things to worry about while traveling around space. Mainly, you have to worry about pirates. If one of these pink ships catches you, the next time you dock, you'll have to fight off pirates, and just like the first time they killed you, they'll likely kill you again.
Systems critical.
There are items you can collect to help fight off pirates and avoid them altogether. Warp keys allow you to travel to any viable ship on your screen. You can jump right over a potential threat. If you do still happen to get caught by pirates, you can utilize torpedoes. These allow you to destroy pirate ships from space. There is another item on the status screen which you may have noticed, heart starters. These allow you to resurrect if you die in combat. These do not work if you die in space. Once you have the basics down, it's time to start crafting up your gear and getting stronger. There are passives that you can craft that will significantly increase your survivability. These passives, for example, decrease the fire damage and radiation damage you take by half. Other passives can give you health, more loot, faster access to locking and unlocking doors, and many other cool perks. Passives are great, but you also need weapons. You can bring 3 types of weapons with you on each mission: a firearm, an indirect damage source, and a utility device. Taking the time to level up these weapons will make them stronger, which should be another one of your main goals while playing Void Bastards. If you're curious about the weapons, the firearms include a pistol, a shotgun, a railgun, an SMG, and a rocket launcher. Indirect damage sources are proximity mines, poison darts, grenades, super grenades, and a radiation dart. The devices that you can use are a shotgun, which are great for mechanical units or security devices, a kitty bot that will distract enemies and explode upon death. There's a device that allows you to put an enemy in stasis and carry them around. You can place them in a room and lock it, or put them directly in fire. The choice is yours. The bouncer is a shield that protects you from bullets and explosives, and the final device can hypnotize enemies to fight for you. Some tips for playing include destroy all security devices as quickly as you can. Peepers will deploy a very annoying security bot if they focus on you for too long. Gun points and boom points can ruin your day if you're not paying attention. Try to get to the helm of ships so that you can download a map of where all the treasures are on that specific ship. If you're trying to craft stuff, you should try out Lux ships. They can be very profitable. They have tons of treasure for you to find. Always unlock these caches if you have the money. They have a guaranteed useful item drop. Sometimes in space, these cute little ships will give you supplies. I want to say that's a typo, but who knows. You may encounter a floating helix in space. These can be helpful or hurtful. They take away a perk and add another. It's usually fine to be hit by these unless you really like the perks your client has. The last thing I want to go over is the information given to you before you dock at another ship. You're shown the types of enemies that you'll encounter, how many of these enemies to expect, what type of loot will be available, and what perks the maps have. Some perks will be shown in red text, such as on fire, where there are a ton of fires everywhere. But you could also use this to your advantage because enemies die very quickly if you lead them to fire. One of my least favorites is out to lunch, which is shown as a positive perk, but it's all lies. The ship is empty until enemies come pouring in and this happens. Use this information to make informed decisions about where to travel, and you'll beat the game in no time. Alright, time for some final thoughts. So, Void Bastards is a great game if you're looking for a short campaign and endless replay value. Regardless of how you can get your hands on this game, I highly suggest giving it a go. The gameplay and graphics are very enjoyable. The randomness can screw you over sometimes, but hey, that's part of the fun. Having to use a gun that doesn't quite fit the circumstances can be a pain, but it does force you to be creative, play a little more strategically, and just think outside of the box to complete the mission. I really like when games that use death as a main mechanic are kind of relaxed on how much they punish you when you do die. I think this game does a really good job of kind of patting you on the back and saying, "You can do it, you big loser." The advanced achievements for this game are no joke, so if you're a hardcore collector, good luck to you. All in all, it really is a fun game, and I think you should give it a shot. If you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.